Welcome back to Marvel Media Podcast, where we talk about all things media, especially Marvel. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts Alex and Josh.
And welcome to episode 3 of Diabolical Discussion. Today we'll be breaking down and discussing episodes 1 through 4 of The Boys Season 3, which is currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't done so already, please go and watch it before you watch this video, as this will contain spoilers from the show.
Season 3, boys. It's been great so far.
Agreed.
It has.
You got any initial thoughts? Any initial thoughts before we just dig in and start just breaking it completely down?
It's nuts, dude. Like, from episode 1, it just goes crazy.
I mean, yeah, the opening 15
Yeah, well, episode 1 was more
just
of like, yeah.
unreal.
No,
What
no,
are we
no,
doing?
but
That's how we're
PTSD, man.
opening.
You guys
PTSD.
know that scene.
PTSD,
you guys know the
bro.
scene. You guys
I
know
was
the scene.
traumatized. Straight traumatized. I think Alex and I both just texted because Blake, you haven't watched it yet at that point, and we both were just like, bro, what did I just? What am I watching? What do you make me watching here?
It's wild.
Yeah, I liked it. It at least gave us, I think besides that part, episode 1 at least gave us some background, as some time definitely went on from the 3rd season. So it kind of gave us a little background of like what's going on, and it gave us some false positive vibes, even though we knew that the head popper was in charge of that little hero league. But yeah, episode 1 was solid. All the episodes been solid, honestly. I haven't watched one that I was like, that was just okay. All of them have been just a great continuation from the previous one. And this
Agreed.
season so far has been the best one.
Agreed.
Easily.
Agreed. You don't have a choice, Chelsea. Jump.
That scene right there. I mean, Homelander and Antony Starr's acting is obviously phenomenal. I mean,
Homelander
he's doing.
Partially it's because it's a TV series, so obviously he gets more time, and now we're 2.5 seasons in, I guess, technically, because we're at the halfway point of season 3. Homelander legitimately might be the best on-screen villain of all time. Like, he's past Thanos and Heath Ledger's Dark Knight Joker for me. He steals scenes,
Especially for
and like I
comic
said,
books.
right, and like I said, obviously he has way more screen time than those guys, so I'm sure you give them more screen time, they would have been. But anytime Homelander's on the screen, like, Antony Starr just takes it away. You are nervous for the characters, the way he portrays. I honestly think Homelander might be the best on-screen villain I've seen. It's unreal.
I would agree with you when it comes to comic books villains so far, especially if they stick the landing with how the show goes. I mean, like you said, you don't know what is going to come out of his mouth in any scene, and I think a pinpoint scene that comes to mind when I think of us saying that is the whole him and Starlight being a couple now. I mean, that just came out of nowhere, and then you're kind of just like, oh my god, he went there again, and he just keeps.
I mean, how about the finale? The end scene for episode 4.
For episode 4?
Yeah, the ending of
Risk
him
the fellow
taking
Alex
Starlight.
Brennan.
Yeah, like, that was insane when he took her there, and I was like, I don't understand. What is this? Like, my first thought, it was a view of, like, maybe it was, like, the boys' hideout, or something like that. But I was like, wait, they're still in, like, Russia, so they wouldn't even be back, so I don't get how, whatever. And then it's his...
I thought it was going to be a little pep talk, like he does.
I thought it'd be like something sexual, like a billboard or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And then
Yeah.
I was thinking, my first thought was the boys' hideout.
Really? You thought I was going to go there?
That's why I thought he was going
I
to,
think that
like,
went a little
show
fast.
that, like, he knows everything that's happening. Like, he sees everything going on, and that was going to be his whole thing. Like, that's, I know everything.
That
like,
whole
you better
change
act
up,
right.
That whole change up just opens a bag of worms with that whole thing. But yeah, no, I mean, Homelander Antony Starr just does so great with the switch. You can visibly see that when he kind of goes calm and he's just losing his shit, and then you're just even more scared than when he's angry or doing his little bit of trying to pretend like he's something that he's not,
Right.
And it's just, I thought he was going to kill, what's his name? Is it Edgar or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edgar.
The guy that was
Stan
headlocked.
Edgar.
Stan Edgar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Stan
I thought
Edgar.
he was gonna die right there.
I kind
I
of did
love that
too.
whole
I agree.
interaction of just how even though he lost power, he still is able to just dig at the heart of Homelander and humble him. And I was like, this dude's gonna die, but also at the same time, like, he doesn't give a shit. And that kind of just like I like Edgar's character because of that. Of we're finally seeing someone kind of truly stand up to Homelander, and if he dies, he dies. You know, if it happens, we wouldn't be surprised, but it hasn't happened.
If we're talking about anyone standing up, this is obviously a little out of order. This is just our thoughts. But Huey standing up to Homelander in episode 4 was like the biggest, like, damn, Huey.
Go off,
like
King.
the way he straight up stood up and like straightened up. And Homelander, you saw him. He looked him in the eyes and then he looked down at his like heart. Like almost like Homelander could hear his heart and tell like he wasn't like his heart didn't speed up like he was scared. Like I was like, damn, he's turning into Butcher a little bit. Like he doesn't care about Homelander.
Episode 4
like,
was a bit of redemption.
Right, like Huey was straight up.
It was a bit of redemption for Starlight and Huey for me.
I agree.
Because like we've been talking about how like, you know, the past season it just like it was starting to dislike Huey and Starlight, but episode 4 I was like, okay, both of them are just like, fuck you for even dare threatening one or the other.
I mean, she
even
a
though
little
they both
bit.
know they don't stand a chance.
At the end, a little bit, she was back to her normal Starlight get put in your place self.
I mean, come on, that's acceptable. That was a solid. I accept that. I mean,
well, I
she
do
really
too, but I'm just saying, like
that happened, and now he's directly threatening. What's she gonna do there?
I don't know.
I think Starlight that episode was good, in my opinion.
I mean, I thought she was good, like when she did her whole speech when Huey was there. You know, when Huey stood up and she like kind of lit up her eyes and was like, "If you touch anybody, you know, I'll walk away with my points."
And she did the same thing, but then it was more of Homelander just says, "You know how that's gonna end, so why are you even trying?" And then that realization of like, once again, they are just constantly on the losing end when it comes to Homelander is kind of coming back.
I mean,
and it always feels like they might be on top. It always
exactly.
I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it like halfway through the episode, it's like, holy shit, everything's going way too well, and then by like 3/4 of it, something starts to happen, and then it ends with the boys always being on the losing end, no matter what.
Yeah, and this is kind of a big L for them too. Like that is a big deal. Now there's nothing hanging over his head. Well, in kind of previous seasons when they have that big loss, it normally comes at the end, like with the head popping happening in the government. That was a big loss for them. And then, but normally it's just tiny losses where they get set back. But this one, I don't know how they're gonna. Obviously, it's gonna be Soldier Boy. It has some impact. I don't know what his role is gonna be in this season, but yeah, that is. An A-Train betraying. I thought we were gonna get a redemption arc for A-Train, and then he betrays him again.
Bro, just die already. Like you're so useless. Like, why is A-Train even a thing?
Well, they were building up all season. That it is A-Train redemption arc, and then he even says he's like trying to stand up. And then I thought, okay, what I was thinking was gonna get set up was that like A-Train maybe in the big fight with Homelander, he's probably gonna die from using his powers, but he'll have some impact. And then we find out he just straight up snitched, dead. And I was like, wow, okay, wow.
And then Alex had to go out and die.
Bro,
that's a fact.
My goodness.
I mean, which I didn't really care too much about Alex. Like, we never even saw his powers. You know? It was kind of like meh, but it was just more the impact of like, okay, Homelander just killed another guy,
Alex,
a part
honestly.
of the 7 new facts.
That's being,
but he just took out like another guy,
fucking loser.
a part of the
emotional damage.
7 was just like, dang, and you could tell his body was like, you know, obviously torn up and lasered up, like. Yeah, Homelander's out of... so I guess we can try to get a little bit back more in order. Obviously, like Josh touched on, episode 1 was more of just... it's a year later. Huey is, you know, side by side working with Victoria, trying to, you know, a part of the government super... What is it? Like Soup Eternal Affairs or something like that is what it's called.
Yeah.
And then Butcher and Frenchie and Kamiko work as like a side unit. And they kind of like capture because they try not, they prefer them not kill the soups, but bring them in so they can be held reliable or up against
Accountable.
court. Was trying to get away from the whole soup game, trying to be a good father for his daughter. Eventually, episode 1, like we said, was kind of more like positive, just kind of catches up, like, oh, here's where everyone's at. And then we kind of get we found out Victoria is the one, or we already knew she was the head popper, but we kind of see her background come to be an issue with some guy. Comes to her work, calling her Nadia, her real name. Huey goes to a place that he finds out that she was adopted from by Stan Edgar. They have a kid together, all this stuff. And then a part of that, we also saw Maeve bring Butcher 3 little, vials of temporary V for him to be a superhero.
Yeah.
And also we had in around the same time as when Homelander showed up to Butcher's place. And I thought that scene was dope too. Again,
that whole interaction.
Yeah, he came in and he was talking to Butcher, and he was like, why don't we just, he was like, just fist to fist, man to man, till the death. One of us only comes out alive. Like, that's what you want. That's what I want. And then he kind of just, flies away. Episode 2 kind of again is more. Yeah, he knew. He knew that he has the temp V now. There's no way he doesn't know.
Oh, I don't know. To me, it felt like he was just there just to taunt him.
You think he doesn't know?
I think that was more just an acknowledgement of... No, I don't think he knows. I think that was more of an acknowledgement of like, hey, we're kind of almost the same dogs, different breed in this big fight. And he was kind of toying with him because, Homelander thinks he's going to win. He doesn't give two shits. Once he finds the kid...
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he knows.
I don't think so.
That's just me.
It doesn't even matter if he knows,
Well, I feel like he kind of wants him.
You can't stop Homelander himself even when he has it.
I know, but I kind of think he wants him too. I think Homelander's wants him to push him to the point of taking this temp V so he has powers so that he will try to 1v1 Homelander with powers so Homelander can feel like he'll have a little bit of a challenge before he kills him. Instead of just obviously walking up and doing it whenever he wants.
I viewed it more of Homelander views humans as just so beneath them, but now he sees Butcher, he's just a regular human, was able to stand up to him. So I thought it was kind of more of a sign of respect, and that was the only sign he's going to get. And it was more of a taunt of like, hey, you bested me once. It's not going to happen again. This fight will end with one of us dying.
Right.
That type of beat. That's how I saw it.
And I think it was a part of episode 2. Maybe it was in 3 where they found out about, there's this whole weapon that they can use that killed Soldier Boy, who was, I guess, is as powerful as Homelander. That's why they were all surprised that if something killed him, they can use this weapon. It was a whole cover-up. So they go to see Mallory because they find out from Gunpowder that Mallory was the special ops leader that Payback was there for. They talk to Mallory. They find that out. Butcher then yells at Ryan and says, oh, why do you think I want to see you? Ryan freaks out, says, I hate you, all this stuff. Basically making it so we know now Ryan does not like or trust Butcher. I don't know what else. Obviously in that is when Butcher took the temp V and killed Gunpowder while he had the powers. And he started to have his side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else would happen then in episode 3.
Which I think now more after episode 4.
We get that flashback.
It's
with
Paybacks and the whole team. Yeah. And the background of why no one wears the mask, which was a bit funny. Also with the guy that what looks like he was like a bug that just flies in the air, gets absolutely obliterated. That was funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And then they were killing like their guys because it was kind of showing like these dudes, they're just not supposed to be there. They're just idiots with powers. They are celebrities with powers. That's straight up it. And they're killing. And they're all traumatized too after that episode.
Right.
Yeah, she's just straight up saying those are my guys.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty amazing action shoot there, for a flashback.
Right.
But going back to what I was saying though, like with episode 3, I initially thought the whole Butcher freak out scene on Ryan was kind of just out of nowhere and seemed rushed for that to kind of happen. But I think they're building on that. This Temp V obviously gives some emotional issues with it as a side effect, because Huey at the end of episode 4 just gave 2 shits that they just won, Soldier Boy's free. They just lost one of their own, and he's just staring at his arm like a little kid out the window.
Right.
And
he did not care.
He didn't even give a shit that he just killed a guy.
And that Kimiko was in the back.
Totally not anything like Huey.
No, he didn't care.
And
at that point, he still was on it.
End.
He was still on it, still, you know? So.
Yeah. Because it lasted for 24 hours and he took it right before the actual mission.
So I know right there something's going to happen, because Starlight is obviously going to tell Huey what happened. And hopefully Huey doesn't do anything stupid that makes us cringe, because right now we're on the Huey redemption season right now. He will. He's going to make us cringe, and it's going to be tough, but I believe in him. All right, please, Huey.
He's going to say something stupid. He's going to be like, oh, good. You know, because he was like kind of jealous of him, even though obviously nothing was going to happen between him and
he's good looking
Starlight.
Dude, so.
Yeah, but yeah.
Is any Alex really good looking, though?
Okay, that's out of pocket.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
That's just lying. We're just gonna act like you're just gonna lie now?
I was just asking a question.
Anyways,
every Alex is hot.
Okay. That's a sore subject. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah,
something will be sore.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that Huey's gonna like, because he's still under the effects of it. He's gonna say something stupid. He's gonna be like, "Oh, good, okay, fine, perfect." You know, like gets rid of that one person that I was jealous of.
Nah, he's gonna pull up on Homelander. The wrong way.
You think he's gonna pull up on Homelander? Like
right
away?
He gets told within the 24 hours, bro. I think something stupid's gonna happen.
He's feeling
because,
himself.
Like we said, even Butcher is acting just out of line for even Butcher standards.
No, I mean not really. I don't think so.
Bro, he didn't even react to that whole ending scene, and he was just like, "I wonder what they did to him." And then you can see M just was staring back at him like the team's gone.
M was pissed.
Like
M was pissed.
Yeah. Team's done
he's
for,
like,
bro.
Yeah, he's like, there's no team to keep together. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, episode 4 was
the
just
biggest question
so
is,
good. So good.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite episode so far this season.
Bro, and some of the lines they said too. BLM is my favorite hashtag.
Oh, yeah, Ashley. They did the Kendall Jenner made fun of that ad.
Yes. Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
Oh man, it's great how much they just make fun of real life stuff in the show. But
everyone gets attacked, man.
Was it 4 where the Deep and A-Train fought? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Because he. Okay. Here's my one question. I don't know if you guys know like literally anything, but is the chick that the Deep's with, was that the one that he wanted to be with from the the Church Collective, or was that the one that he got?
They chose her.
That's the one he got. That's the one that they chose her. He had to get back in.
All right. What the fuck's up with her? Because she's like, she seems to know like exactly what to say and she's basically like the brain.
Right, like she
texted got mommy
issues, bro. Him. I mean, they all do.
Yeah, to say that,
like.
and then
yeah. Well, Homelander's got both issues, as Edgar pointed out. I love that whole.
That's true.
What, you want me to be your daddy? I wouldn't even be proud of you. with all that insecurity inside. I was like, oh my god, dude! All his lines are just so good.
Yeah.
And
He
the
said it was
actor
like
always,
it was something about where would my
always kills
respect
it.
even go? Just into your something insecurity that you call a soul or something like that.
Your ending
just-
non. Yeah,
He was cutting deep.
so good.
He was flaming him.
I couldn't believe he didn't die.
Yeah,
I honestly thought
fairly, 'cause
Homelander was just about
he
to just
did.
kill him.
I thought he was about to just zoom right through him. Like I said, the show gives me PTSD. So
As
I
he was
was like,
walking
he's
away, I thought
gone.
Homelander was just
I was
going
like,
to laser
great
him.
line.
Like, just
Yeah.
laser him, end him.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff.
And then now Homelander knows all his secrets now, basically, because he's temporarily the top guy. So he knows that what's her name is a head popper, which I was
There's
like, oh, okay.
There's no one overseeing the soups anymore. It's Homelander. Homelander is the one in charge now.
And they might know about the secret weapon too, so we don't know what Homelander is going to do about that information because he confronted Starlight about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, we actually don't know how much Alex told A-Train. He could just be like, oh,
for
we're
A-Train
forming
to
a group
tell
to
him.
fight back. So,
Right.
which wouldn't be that much.
And part of the whole
Okay.
Homelander getting he stole that thing that he gave Victoria, that he was like, oh, here it is, all 11 spices and herbs, which is kind of funny about KFC whole thing. But and she injected it into the little girl, which I'm assuming is just something to make her basically invincible, because like she may already have powers, but just because you have powers may not make you like invincible or something. Is that what you guys are assuming that she got injected with, or what? Or was it powers? Like that girl had no powers, and that was something to try to give her like powers.
It looked like it was just regular V, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's how
I thought it was
took
just regular V, so now she's just going to
regular
get random powers.
Oh, okay, that's what you guys are thinking too.
Yeah, I
okay.
think she was,
I was
just
thinking
trying to protect her daughter. Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah, we saw that.
yeah, I don't think
I'm
it
just
was anything,
confused,
special.
like-
yeah, because I showed the back and I was like, did she have like some paralysis or some type of beat? And like, oh, she wanted to heal her daughter, and maybe that was the trade. But then I was like, no, she was fine. So I think it's just literally V to get powers.
But
So
did
she
you
would
guys
be
hear like the
invincible.
noise it was making? It was like, it sounded like cracking and shit, and then she was like
Yeah, the
screaming.
back-
Yeah, like it was like changing her
I
bone
was like, what the
structure
fuck is
almost.
going on? Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's like
maybe you
some
are onto
weird
something
shit.
about invincibility, but they never hinted at anything like that before. And it was blue like V in the past
Yeah, like
seasons.
like
I
regular.
guess.
Because they made sure to do temp V be green.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like colors do kind of matter there.
That's true. And then obviously we also saw Starlight and Maeve kind of talk about Maeve was, training and all that stuff. She was talking about how she may not be able to kill him, but maybe she can distract Homelander long enough for them to get the shot off of the, weapon to kill him, and hopefully get some of her own hits in on him. And Starlight was all like, you really care about yourself this little and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think, like we said, Homelander's scene when Starlight was saying about like, oh, I'll release the video from the flight, and him just switching that light again and just being like, do it. Because then if you do that, I have nothing. He's like, I'd prefer everybody to love me, but if they have to fear me, I'll do that too. And he was like, first I'll take out important, like he gave his whole plan. Like he's clearly thought about how to destroy the world, and gave his whole plan about like taking out and pouring like power, electricity stuff, and then going for government officials and all that stuff. It was just like, damn, Homelander's off the rails, and nobody can do anything to stop him. It's just
because there's no one as powerful as he is, or so we think.
Which, talking
Butcher.
about that video, I thought it was kind of neat. Well, I thought it was kind of neat how the Deep and A-Train were both like, well, you did that. And then we found out how they got the videos in the first place. And then I forgot what he said A-Train did.
well,
For
the
he
Deep
got
said
on.
to A-Train,
Stormfront.
yeah. The Deep said to A-Train,
Yeah.
he was like,
So-
oh, then maybe I'll tell him how they Stormfront being exposed as a Nazi came from, because the A-Train stole that from that cult. They had like the file, and he gave it to Starlight about them to leak for that. And then A-Train said back to the Deep, he's like, oh, then I'll tell him who retrieved the flight, like, video for Maeve about the flight that went down. So that's what their two blackmail to each other basically was, you know?
And proceeded with A-Train punching the Deep in the gills.
In the gills.
Like, you killed punching, you asshole.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I want to touch on, so it seems very clear Butcher's powers are basically Homelander's. I mean, we haven't seen him fly, but we've seen the bulletproof, we've seen the lasers, and we've seen him being super strong. So we don't know about his flying yet. I guess we haven't seen that. Huey's, it looks like he healed himself, it looked like, right? With his broken arm. And then two, I saw someone say something that he was speed, like really fast, but it was more of a teleport, was it not?
Yeah, it was a teleport.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, I didn't see him. So So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that, like, subconsciously you have some kind of control over your power on Temp V of what you could get, or do you think it's just completely random?
Maybe. I feel like it's random.
You think so?
But I think it'd be, random. I think, it's got to be. But if it was like speed, I feel like the writers would have made a really ironic scene there, and he would have just like exploded that guy by running through him, just like the death of his original girlfriend. So I definitely dig his teleportation, but I don't know. It's got to be random.
Yeah, but you think it's completely random, and Butcher like just so happened to get the same powers as Homelander?
Maybe. Well, I originally thought all like their Temp V would be designed for soldiers to have superpowers. So I was like, okay, they probably would design it to have like these basic strongman abilities. But then I got kind of confused that Huey just had fucking teleported to a guy.
See, I think it goes off of like somewhat random, but it also is based off of like your DNA. Because when your DNA mixes with the Temp V, you get whatever power those two mix. That's kind of how I see it, because it's like, how is it that out of those 3 vials, 2 of them it gave Butcher the exact same powers, so nothing changed, but when Huey took it, it gave him teleportation. So I think it has to do with the person who takes it too. So it's going to be random, but whoever takes it, like say if took it, he'd probably have like a different power than Huey or Butcher. But it's random. Like they're not going to know what it is. That's kind of how I see it.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, it has to do with something with your DNA of why Butcher would have the same power. It's not like each vial is a random ability. But I was just wondering if you guys thought it was somehow on like a subconscious level. Because I mean, Huey's always running away from things. He doesn't stand up and fight for himself. So it makes sense. Like, oh, what's his power? He can teleport to get out of situations because this guy's a little bitch. He always runs away from things. Butcher is this super hard.
Hey, but not that episode, though.
Yeah, I mean, finally he did, which we love to see it. But I'm just saying, Butcher is just this super hard guy. It would make sense. What's his power going to be? He's going to be super strong. He's going to be bulletproof. And just throw in the laser eyes because Homelander has it. But, it would just kind of make sense to a little bit about, the characters, their powers kind of reflect a little bit their personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So
it could be. It could be that in both DNA.
Then obviously the big finale, or part of the big finale.
Winter Soldier came in.
Winter Soldier does come back to life. Well, I guess not back to life, just out of hibernation.
Has more than an arm this time.
He does. He has a light up powered chest that'll shoot a powerful blast.
He has that Iron Man chest bolt, just like how Winter Soldier lost his arm. He's learning.
Sure. He's evolving.
He is.
So, do you think that's like something that he had before, or do you think that's something that they did to him?
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you. That's what I was thinking, the same thing.
There's no way.
Because when we saw him in the flashback, he was basically Captain America. Yeah, he was basically Captain America. Like, he
Yeah.
could, endurance speed. He had a shield. Never once did his suit have anything that would show that he shoots a beam from his chest. And then all of a sudden, he comes out of this, and it's Iron Man 2 again, where he just lights up a different color, like he's going to blow up everything. And then he just shoots a beam.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking
But
the
it
same
didn't
thing. I
look
was
like
like, that
it was
had to
something he
be...
knew he had.
Right.
No,
That's what I
yeah,
was thinking,
that has to
same
be
thing.
like something that was
They
given
added
to
to
him.
him or something.
Yeah, because like it doesn't look like something that he can control. Because it looks like he was like, after being in hibernation for so long, he just had to just let go, and
Let
it
it
just
out.
exploded. And then, yeah. I didn't want
I
to
think
say
he
that.
definitely. I think it got added. That's why I made the Winter Soldier joke. I mean, just like how they added the arm to him and made him a super soldier, I think they added their own additions to it. And they kept referencing how, there is a weapon to kill. So maybe the weapon is turning Soldier Boy into something even more. And now he can literally kill anything.
I mean, yeah, because we
But
saw
do you
Kamiko
think
was...
the beam takes away the powers?
Yeah.
Like
Think the
the
what?
energy that
What do you mean?
the energy that he shoots out, it doesn't exactly kill you. It's just like for a soup, if they get hit by it and they don't go through a wall and land with like rebar all over the place, say they just land on a fucking crash pad and they're fine physically, but after that they don't have their abilities. Maybe the energy beam that he shoots takes away the V in their body.
Yeah.
Almost like a, no more powers kind of power. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm still trying
That's
to
what...
think.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's what it did. It just... And we don't know how long it lasts. Is
yeah,
Kamiko
I don't
going
know
to
if it's like a
die because
forever
she
thing or
can't
if
get her
it's
powers back?
or
Right,
a
exactly.
temporary,
That's what we'll have to see.
I think
almost
she
like a
has to get her
reverse
powers back.
temporary
Maybe
thing.
it is a delayed thing. Because keep in mind, we have another season, right?
At
So
least.
if Soldier Boy is the answer to kill Homelander, then what's probably going to happen is that they're going to find out, oh, there's a delay to this power. And it's going to take this season for them to come up with a plan. And the next season is probably where the square down goes down of one team is going to lose, and that will be the end. Because it's got to be. I mean, at this point, like, someone has to crack, and the big battle just has to go down. All cards have been played. This is it, So I feel like
Possibly.
maybe they're going to have to find a way to recruit Soldier Boy to their side. And then
See,
that would be
I
what the
think
rest of the season is.
I honestly think that Soldier Boy is going to be out for himself. He's going to be like the third party that is introduced. He's going to come in and just take over. And I think he might actually face off against Homelander. And if his beam is temporary, I feel like it's going to temporarily take out Homelander's powers, leaving Homelander just being a regular person. And then you have Soldier Boy as the bad guy, like the main bad guy at the very end. It's almost like the answer to Homelander, but it's the temporary things which no one knows about. And it may depend on the person he shoots. So maybe like a person like Kimiko who like regenerates fast, maybe the temporary thing is faster. I don't know. I'm kind of just going off of what I've seen. So maybe she's gonna survive this, but that's because her powers are to literally regenerate. So that probably accelerates the process of how long that thing temporarily gets rid of your powers. But for a person like Homelander who doesn't have that ability, he's just invulnerable. Maybe it takes longer, maybe a week. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just my guess. Is that he's going to be introduced as a third party. He's going to be the one on top at the end of the season. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I don't.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I definitely don't see him siding with the boys, especially since has issues with him, so he'd probably try to kill him. And then I don't think he wants to be under Homelander. Like I don't think he would like that. It's like and having two alphas. It just wouldn't work. So one of them has to be on top. That's the only thing that I could think of, since there's no actual weapon per se.
Yeah. Maybe Edgar gets involved and controls Soldier Boy. Or they work together. Who knows? Because obviously his role's not done. Like I said, I think if it was, he would have died right there. And he was just standing there, just viewing over things as if he has another plan. So who knows? I don't think he's done.
And it could be, because he did say that one of the things that he told Nadia or whatever her name is to always be one step ahead. So I feel like he
said play both sides.
Contingency plan. Yeah, play both sides. So I feel like he almost knows that the boys are where they're at. There's no way that he's not informed about that kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, it would make sense that if he can't control Homelander through being the head of Vought and, that kind of thing, he has, playing both sides, he has a anti-weapon in the sense of, like we're saying, it could be, we thought it was like an actual gun or something, but now it's actually Soldier Boy and his power that was given to him or injected in him of being able to either take away a soup's powers indefinitely or maybe just temporary so that they then are just a human and you can kill them anyway. So yeah, I mean, it would make a little bit of sense if Stan Edgar, I mean, he's obviously one of the most powerful people in the world, being as high up as he was, that he would at least have some kind of knowledge of this. And like you said, I agree that Soldier Boy, I think, obviously in this scene, we saw him come out of hibernation. He's probably just like basically still in a trance point. He doesn't know what's happening. So he was just trying to break free. And it's not like he ran, it wasn't like he was slow and just walked, blasted the wall. I don't think he was aiming for Frenchie or Kimiko. He was just aiming to blast the wall. Maybe he knew that was the wall to blow up, then he could walk outside. Frenchie was just standing there. Kimiko got him out of the way, but then, she got blasted back and everything. So I think, yeah, Soldier Boy's probably, when he comes out of his trance that he's kind of still in, he's going to be out for himself. He's not trying to team up with anybody because he doesn't want anyone to be in charge of him. He just spent, however long. Who knows if it was a Winter Soldier type deal where they took him out of that hibernation tank every now and then, or if he was solely just knocked out basically for decades. That I agree that he's going to be a third party. He's not trying to be under anybody's control. So I could see the boys trying to hunt him down to try to be like, hey, we need to figure out if he's, with what happens with Kimiko, whether she dies or she ends up pulling through, and maybe she pulls through, but she's just a normal human. Or maybe she, pulls through because of her powers or dies or whatever. They'll use that information to be like, we need to get him. He is the weapon. And maybe Homelander finds out. He's like, I need to find this guy and I need to kill him because he's the potential one thing that could stop me. So I agree that this is kind of going to almost be a race to hunt down Soldier Boy now that he's freed.
Yeah, because can you imagine if there's a soup that has a power to get rid of other powers?
Homelander's going to try to kill him. He's not going to try to recruit him. Yeah, Homelander is not going to try to recruit him. If Homelander knows he can kill, he's going to kill him. It's that simple.
There's no way that he would trust him 100% ever, so why would he want to recruit him? He would have to kill him. Because that's his one weakness, because I think that's the one thing that he would hate the most, is to be somebody without powers. Because right now he has that God complex where he feels he's above everybody. If you take that away, what is he? Nothing. Because he has
it's just like I said, this relates. Right. Yeah. It relates to the OG X-Men trilogy of Magneto. Magneto's whole thing in that was that we're above them, we're the next step of evolution, and he was attempting to create something to make them, humans mutants, and then obviously the humans created this thing that would stop, mutants from being a thing, and he's like, yeah, no, this cannot happen. Magneto's number one issue in the third one was this boy who had a power that they were able to use to make no more mutants. And so Magneto was trying to kill him, and then eventually they ended up using it on him, and he became one of them. So it's a very similar thing. I think Homelander, if this guy can stop Soups from even being, losing their powers, obviously Homelander is just going to try to kill him because he wants more Soups. He thinks they're the evolution, and humans are meant to worship them because humans are nothing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts on the unfortunate halfway point of the season 3 that's been so good?
Huey is way thicker in that ass of his than Soldier Boy. That was a big surprise to me. I made sure to keep that mental note for this podcast that Huey has a fat ass, and Soldier Boy is lacking in that department. To my surprise, we didn't get to see Huey's. They had all the shots there, and they didn't show it.
True.
I'd take that shot.
What did he say?
All right, well, this wraps up this episode. Let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the halfway point of season 3 of The Boys. Be sure to like this video, comment down below. Check out our social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And be on the lookout for next week's, where we will do episode 5, our review of The Boys. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.